morning. You all know what day it is. Oh, we all know what day it is. It's Transformative Tuesday, y'all. As always, I'm Dennis R. Holder, Mr. Motivation, the CEO of Herald of Hope Books and Inspiration. And guess what? I'm coming to you. Each and every one of you with some words of encouragement, something to sharpen the blade of your mind, body, and your spirit. I'm trying to stir you. I'm trying to wake you up. I need you to do that thing I'm always asking you to do every Tuesday morning. Wake up and lend me your ears on this Transformative Tuesday. Here we are blessed with another Transformative Tuesday in the month of April as we prepare to close out this month's monthly mantra that has simply been, let's start again. Now, Dennis, what you talking about, man? What you been talking about in the month of April in 2024? What I've been asking each and every one of us to do is be willing to start again. To take the lessons you've learned from the first quarter of the month, partially thus far up to this part of this quarter of the year, and what have you learned? I need you to take those insights, that wisdom, that greater understanding, that greater appreciation of yourself. Take what you've learned from the past, plant it in the present, and cultivate something new, a greater possibility, a greater understanding. Allow yourself to do what? Start again. Not act like you bumped your head and got amnesia, but realize that I can start again. Taking those insights, taking that wisdom, replanting it, and raising my gaze and my greater vision and expectation. But guess what? A greater destiny. To do that thing I'm always asking us to do each and every Tuesday morning. Transform into your next best self. So guess what? Today won't be any different. Our quote for today, it's biblical. It's necessary. It speaks to the process of being human, of living our lives of transformation as we continue to go forward and grow forward in this season called life. In fact, our quote for today simply states that to whom much is given, much is required. Oh, come on, say it with me. You know what I'm talking about. That is the scripture out of the book of Luke coming from our Bible that simply says, to whom much is given, much is required. Now, Dennis, what you saying to me this morning, man? Oh, you done went to the word on me this morning, Dennis. Always. I always feel this need to share a good word, to encourage a good word, to inspire a good word, which comes from the good word. Hey, somebody keep walking with me. What I'm saying to us is, coming from the book of Luke, this verse comes to us out of verse chapter 12. It simply states that to whom much is given, much is required. And I got to be honest with you. In the past, I've been warned, especially if we have conversation with one another and we're talking about life and we're talking about the challenges and the ups and downs and responsibilities and the talents, gifts, and abilities that we're all given. That's the first verse I'm going to speak to you. I'm saying, hey, I hear you complaining. I hear you mumbling. I hear you grumbling. I might even do the same thing. But to whom much is given, much is required. What I want us to do is I want us to not just quote that just because we hear it. I want us to understand it. I want us to apply it. I want us to, be able to thrust it into the process of our lives and remind us that to whom much is given, much is required. Now you said, Dennis, that pretty much speaks for itself, right? Well, in a way it does, but in a way it doesn't. It does. I tell people all the time, it does you no good. When you say things like this, we hear things, we hear proverbs, we hear different proverbs, Bible verses all the time. Just because you hear it, can you apply it? Do you understand it? Is it something you can share with somebody else to help spark change in their lives? And even if you are, is it something that you're able to daily use to grow? Is it still shaping your life? Or is it just something you heard one time, sounded real good, and until somebody else brought it up again, it didn't matter? Until I mentioned it today, you hadn't thought about to whom much is given, much is required. What am I saying to us? I don't care about what you know. I'm asking you, what are you applying? Hey, what are you applying in the process of starting again? Because you do realize that I told us throughout the course of this month that starting again is a mindset. Starting again is a process. Starting again is a true resetting of your vision, a greater understanding, and appreciation. Hey, appreciation of who you are, but also who you have a possibility to become. What I want to remind us as we hear this verbiage, as we hear this verse, as we hear this scripture, to whom much is given, much is required. Yes, if you look at the surface, the first thing that jumps out to you is that if I'm given a lot, I'm responsible for a lot. Well, that pretty well summed it up, right? That's simple, right? In fact, I kind of believe that. If I'm given a lot of opportunity to speak to a lot of people, if I'm given a lot of opportunity to write a book, to reach and touch people, then I have a responsibility, to share that with the world, to do what? To affect change and be the best, to present the change that I want to see in the world, right? That's easy. That's simple, right? No. What I'm telling us, when I ask us to look a little deeper, hey, dig out the shovel in your life and come on, dig a little deeper, beyond knowing that to whom much is given. When let's take it a step at a time, to whom much is given. We're all given gifts, talents, and abilities. Yes. We're all given opportunities daily. Yes. We're all given a chance to rise, thrive, and be our best selves. Yes. But in doing that, are you learning? Are you growing? Are you truly seeking great opportunities to grow, rise, to learn, to step into the next best version of yourself, to do that thing of you truly using your gifts, for greater discerning moments? Is it enough for you to just realize that I see somebody suffering around me and I can't encourage them today? Is it enough to realize that I find myself in the midst of struggle and fighting against the circumstances of life that I can't encourage myself? No. To whom much is given, much is required. As I'm given the talents to push forward, to persevere, to drive, to continue to use my creativity to create murals, to write books, to speak to my fellow man, to encourage my fellow man, to be the best nurse, to be the best doctor, to be the best therapist, cashier, whatever it is, to be the best version of myself, that is an application. Hey, there I go with the applying word, the application of myself. To whom much is given, to whom is us, whom is you, whom is me, each and every one of us as we open our eyes each and every day. Hey, come on, rise with me this morning. Come on, shine with me this morning. Use your gifts, talents, and abilities to make room for you. To whom much is given, much is required. To whom much is given. I don't know who I'm talking to. You're looking around and comparing yourself to everybody else. My path in life don't look as smooth as everybody else. My journey doesn't look like it's going as fast as everybody else. I'm continuing to press for this thing called my life, or at least I think I am, but I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. Slow down, let me remind you of something. In this process, in this pursuit of starting again and living our lives, just like in track and field, if you're running your race, you got to run in your lane and run your way. Hey, somebody, I'm going somewhere running in your lane, right? When you run in your lane, you run as fast as you can. You run your race at the pace that you're meant to run. Because if you try to run out of my pace, you try to run out of Sister Sue's pace and Brother Bobby's pace, you may not be able to run that race that way. But guess what? They might not be going in the direction you're going. Their goals and dreams might not be the same as yours. To each and every one of us, there is a goal, there is a dream, there's an aspiration, a destiny, hey, a destiny set for us. So to whom much is given, much is required. It's the time for you to examine yourself, to look within and make sure that you're taking your gifts, talents, and abilities, the greater understanding of yourself, and you're applying it. You're discerning out the greater moments. You're looking for opportunities, hey, past the obligations. You find yourself going through the tough times, and guess what? Tracking and going forward over the hills and the valleys of life. You find yourself with your back against the wall fighting, but you're fighting forward with your greater faith because you're examining yourself. You're not comparing yourself. Hey, there's no time for comparison. It's time for cultivation this morning, y'all. Cultivating the greater understanding. Cultivating the greater seed of prosperity. Cultivating the greater appreciation of who I am, whose I am, and the journey that I'm currently on. So what I'm saying is, as I encourage you, as we are meant to, each and every one of us, to know to whom much is given, we are given opportunities to live our lives doing the best we can where we are with what we have. In fact, as I think about this quote, it reminds me of one, and I told you I'm a comic book fan. It reminds me of the comic book phrase, if you're a Spider-Man fan at all, it's always been said, as Uncle Ben taught me the phrase, with great power comes great responsibility, right? But I also did some thinking this weekend, and I was doing some reading, and the gentleman simply said, we hear that phrase, but you know, the inverse is also encouraging too. That with great responsibility comes great power. Hey, this is what you're talking about this morning. What I'm reminding you is, if you have the responsibility to run in your lane, you take the responsibility to get an understanding of who you are. You take the responsibility to appreciate your life. Guess what? You give yourself the power, hey, the power to start again, the power to reset, to refocus, to re-energize in your life, which allows you to continue to go forward and understand that, guess what? I'm more than the situation and circumstances that I face. The circumstances that I find myself up against will not define me. To whom much is given, much is required. What's required of us, Dennis? As we know what we're given, as we get an understanding and appreciation of who we are currently, who we're striving to be, what we currently have, the talents, gifts, and abilities that are ours and truly shaped and molded between each and every one of us, that comes a requirement. Hey! A requirement to not only do our best, be our best, but expect our best from ourselves. Somebody say it with me. We all are responsible for playing the hand of the cards of life that we're dealt. We're all responsible. Guess what? We all gonna fall down, but we have responsibility to get back up again. Just because you fall, you have the ability to rise again. You have the responsibility to, guess what? To be your best self, to raise your expectation of yourself, to continue to go forward in this process of living your life. No one is going to take responsibility for the greater goals and dreams and aspirations of your life. We can encourage you. We can pat each other on the back. We can tell each other where you should go, what you should be doing, what you should accomplish. But guess what? At the end of the day, at the start of the day, at the middle of the day, guess who it falls on? Go ahead. Guess who it falls on? It falls on you. It falls on me. It falls on each and every one of us to do what's required. What's required of me, Dennis? I don't know. That's the process of you living your life. To live your life and trying to find meaning. To operate with purpose. Living your life on purpose. Hey, for purpose and with purpose each and every day. That's what's required. It's required that you don't take your life for granted. It's required that you realize that, guess what? I may make mistakes, but I'm not a mistake. I may fail from time to time, but I'm not a failure. I might lose my way, but I can choose to get back on the path, because you can never go too far, hey, in the right direction. What I'm reminding each and every one of us, to whom much is given, much is required. Look past the surface of understanding this. Look past the greater appreciation. Yeah, I heard that one time. I've heard it twice. But are you applying it? Do you understand it? How does that help you define yourself in this season of your life as you start again? I don't care who you are. We don't have to wait till 2025. You can start today. Start again. Take what you've learned. Take the seeds of that insight, that wisdom, and understanding that you've been granted. Hey, take those lessons learned. Because guess what? You made mistakes because you were trying to be better. The only way, the cost that you have to pay to get better results and greater understandings, you have to make mistakes. You're not really trying unless you mess up. But once you gather that wisdom, once you take that insight and you plant it in your present. What I'm saying when I say plant it in your present, that each and every day you do the best you can. Where you are, with what you have. You don't expect perfection, but you expect progress. You expect yourself to be persistent. You expect yourself to continue to persevere and continue to press on in your life. Because guess what? You know that you're making each day your best day. Doing the best you can where you are with what you have. Oh, let me say that to you again. You're doing the best you can where you are with what you have. Running your race, staying in your lane, and doing what you're meant to do. Praying for discernment, praying for wisdom, praying for endurance to run this race and go forward, because it's not given to the swift or the strong, but the one that can endure. And I pray that you continue to endure, because now that you planted that seed, now that you're cultivating something new, hey, now that you're cultivating something new in your present, you get to raise your gaze, raise your expectations, raise your understanding of yourself, because guess what? You can see beyond the trouble that you're facing now because you know greater opportunities are coming. Hey! You can see beyond the circumstances around you and see nothing be working in your favor because you know greater possibilities are coming. You can see beyond the walls and the stumbling blocks and the staggering stones that get each and every one of our way because you're building your strength in the process of living your life. To whom much is given, much is required. Continue to push forward. Continue to grow. Never be afraid to start again. Each and every day we're given. Each and every day, each and every one of us are given is an opportunity to start again. I pray that each and every one of you, yes, each and every one of you take hold of this opportunity, this moment, this season, this set of circumstances that are in front of you and start again as we prepare to go into the month of May. I pray that each and every one of you, yes, each and every one of you be blessed on this Transformative Tuesday.